The Tafari App is more than just an e-commerce platform. It's actually a financial services and e-commerce platform integrated in one.
Could you elaborate?
So what I mean by that is that when you set up a Tafari account, you actually will get a personal and a business account. And that will allow you then to immediately, we offer you an ability to open an online store. And what we've noticed is that a lot of the smaller SMEs and have found it, one, difficult to put up transactional websites and or their own apps. These are expensive and people are not familiar with the tools of setting them up. Yes, there's other people that are trying to make it easier and will be amongst those, but it's not everyone who's got access to that. So what we're doing now is to be able to then, when you set up your online store, and you don't have to be a big retailer to do this.
Welcome to the iAfrikan BYTES podcast. My name is Tefo Mohapi. I'm the editor-at-large and CEO at iAfrikan Media. Now more than ever, during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the enforced lockdowns, online shopping has become an essential part of our daily lives. The convenience is that you don't have to leave your home. However, not all businesses across Africa have online shops in place to take advantage of this and make it convenient for their consumers to shop. On this episode of the iAfrikan BYTES podcast, I am joined by Dr. Thabo Lehlokoe, Executive Chairman of Tafari Capital, a company in South Africa that has recently launched the Tafari App, which allows individuals and businesses to set up their online shops and sell to consumers. Dr. Lehlokoe, how are you?
I'm good, and you? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Before we get to talking about the Tafari App, I just wanted to find out what are some of the retail trends that you have possibly observed so far during 2020?
Yeah, look, what we have picked up during this year, and I think even late last year, was it's been an ongoing trend towards online shopping. Although there was a lot of people that have been challenged by this. But what we find is that more and more shops are becoming innovative around online shopping, trying to make user experience as seamless as possible. But having said that, you will find that it's largely the big retail stores. This has not trickled down to the mom and pop shop, the what you call the spaza shops and all of those other entities. These people. It's almost like this online thing is for big companies only, and this is what we actually aim to change. Because currently, right now, with this COVID thing, more than ever, for people to be able to comply with lockdown regulations, they need to have an alternative way of accessing the goods and services they need.
That makes sense, as you said, given the lockdowns. What I'm also interested in finding out is that given that there are several online tools, obviously with varying degrees of difficulty for setting them up, what was the motivation to create the Tafari App beyond the COVID-19 lockdown?
Well, the Tafari App is more than just an e-commerce platform. It's actually a financial services and e-commerce platform integrated in one.
Could you elaborate?
So what I mean by that is that when you set up a Tafari account, you actually will get a personal and a business account. And that will allow you then to immediately, we offer you an ability to open an online store. And what we've noticed is that a lot of the smaller SMEs and have found it, one, difficult to put up transactional websites and or their own apps. These are expensive and people are not familiar with the tools of setting them up. Yes, there's other people that are trying to make it easier and will be amongst those, but it's not everyone who's got access to that. So what we're doing now is to be able to then, when you set up your online store, and you don't have to be a big retailer to do this. And this is precisely our target market. Our target market is the small and micro business enterprises even including the lady by the corner who's a hawker, who's selling her stuff in a store somewhere. That's the kind of people we drill it down to them, to enable them to open up the store, an account to us, and it's a free account, by the way. And then once they've opened this account, they can take the photos of the vegetables, the clothes, the whatever it is that they're selling, take the pictures, upload them, price them, tell us what the prices of the individual items are. And then almost in a couple of minutes or seconds, they can be able to sell these things. And which means then that you as an individual sitting at home, and I'll make another example. If you have a granny who has, for example, got her money from, a SASSA grant.
Yep.
But they are not allowed, this time they are not allowed to go out. They can actually, with the help of themselves, some of them can be able to do this, but they can be able to, with maybe help, be able to actually order their vegetables and their foods and their requirements on their app, sitting at home.
From the market.
And not being from the market. And be able to get, and it's also geolocated, so it can be targeted to those spaza shops that are in her locality, and or the vegetable lady in their locality. And then once that is done, what will then happen is that on the same app, there will be couriers, so to speak, that have also registered to become accredited couriers. And these couriers could be as simple as a young man who has been unemployed in the area, who now would probably need to have a job, and therefore he will then be able to register to this lady that she'll be the one that will actually carry the vegetables, take them to the old lady. And then as soon as the old lady accepts or the transaction is done, they can then, the guy will get his money, and the hawker will also get their money. But the other interesting thing about how we're doing it is that you can pay through a facility called an escrow account, which then enables an escrow account will enable the vendor to know that indeed there is money there for the product that they're
account,
selling.
yeah.
Yes, and to the buyer, when the products get to them, they will check, is this what I've ordered? And if this is what I've ordered, then they release, and is the quantities that I've ordered in, then they release the payment indeed that yes, I've ordered these things and the quantity is fine. And then, so this provides some form of trust and security for people. And this is not something that is only left out to the upper middle class kind of people who have fancy banking accounts. We are bringing that type of technology right down to the bottom of the pyramid, so to speak.
Interesting. I think you touched on my next question, which was, can you walk us through some of the features, but also what differentiates the Tafari app from some of the more common e-commerce and online shopping platforms?
Look, as I've already said, most of them, regardless, especially locally here, you buy and you sell, but in some, you don't even complete the transaction on the site. You have to go out into another maybe payment gateway to be able to conclude that.
Yes.
That will be different with us. And also in some of them, some I won't mention names, but some of the bigger ones here, it's largely the new merchandise that is sold on the website. So with us, what we are allowing for is for old and new to be sold on the platform with the same level of depth that people will then be able to say, look, I can actually buy and sell my things and be able to be able to make business. I mean, to the extent that if you think about it, anybody can open up an online store. We want to create people to start to sell things everywhere. As long as you are able to verify that you've got the item and it's yours and you are in a position to sell it, you can be able to sell it. And it doesn't have to be new. In some cases, it doesn't even have to be your product. What then can happen in that sense, you can open up an online store where you pick up products and services from other stores. For example, you see, oh, this particular item is very popular. You arrange with your nearest retailer. You pick up 1 or 2 items from there. You go to another one. You pick up 1 or 2 items from them, and you pull them together into your store. And when you sell them, we can connect you directly to those retailers in the back end. In a sense, you are creating your middle, you are a middleman.
Yes.
Where you are selling products and services on behalf of others in return for some form of commission or something.
Okay. Now, you mentioned something interesting that with some e-commerce platforms, they use third-party payment gateways, etc. Now, e-commerce, as far as payments go, is a regulated, if I can put it that way, industry. How have you been able to navigate that part of setting up this, especially when you say you want to launch in other African countries, as the laws?
Well, look, at this point, at this point, when I say they use other, and is that you actually get out of the platform. You don't finish your transaction on the platform. For example, there's others where you just meet the person, and then you go and meet and exchange your goods outside there with the person and pay them separately. You don't do the transaction on the platform. That's what I meant.
Okay.
So in our situation, clearly you buy it and you actually can finish the transaction on the platform. And it can be done via the escrow account as well, because it's specifically to avoid a situation of fraud, people selling you things or somebody coming in and then saying, I've got this vehicle that I'm selling, or I've got this product that I'm selling. It's hotcakes.
Yeah.
And therefore, please put a deposit in. And then they take deposits from all sorts of people. And then before you know it, the person is gone and he's gone up with people's deposits. In this case, we are actually trying to avoid a situation like that, where we say, if I put a deposit, it doesn't go straight to the seller. It goes into the seller's escrow account. And only when I actually pick up the vehicle can you then release the rest of the funds, or you release the money that you've paid in the escrow account. In that way, it stops people from getting multiple buyers, putting money in and then running away with people's monies. So that's one of the key aspects that we have done to differentiate our solutions from the others in the markets. But also, as I indicated, part of the indie is that it allows right down to the man in the street to be able to become an online entrepreneur. So it's not dependent. For example, you offer all sorts of things, different products and services. I could be a plumber, and I can offer my services on this platform. I could be an electrician. I could be a doctor. I could be a lawyer. Anybody. So we actually allow individuals, professionals, people that sell products or services to actually come on the platform and sell their product and services. And they can be tracked. People can rate them. So let's say, for example, you've got a plumber, and this plumber is done a bad job. You can rate that plumber, or this plumber is 1 out of 5. And you give reasons, and you can even upload photos of the kind of work they have done. And similarly, they also, after they've done the job, they can take the before and the after, and they can put there to make sure that people can see the quality of the work that they've done. That way, you are bringing trust into the platform, into the system, that, indeed, the people that you are choosing actually are doing a good job. And it's a way of sieving out those service providers that are not providing an excellent job out there.
Okay.
In a way, this is one way of making sure that there is trust and people get to use this thing. But there's other things that we are going to introduce later, which will also differentiate us, which is regarding what they call video commerce. So we are already working on that as well, so that people don't just see an item. You can actually speak to the farmer who is actually growing the vegetables, and they will tell you about their product that they are selling. if it's fish, if it's, so you are actually bringing all these people onto the market. It will give them an opportunity to be able to sell directly to the people that they're buying this stuff from, in a video format where you can pretty much talk to the person. So it's one of the other innovations that we'll be bringing to the party. Not immediately, but in the very near future, it will be there as well.
As time goes on. Now, if I'm a spaza shop, for instance, somewhere in Mangaung, how easy is it for me to set up on the Tafari app? Is it something that can be done in minutes, or can you walk us through some of the steps?
It's very simple. I mean, right now, what we are doing, we are actually encouraging people to pre-register for the app, because the apps are available, but we not opened it yet for the general public. It's only the people that will pre-register that will get access to it, so that they can play around. So, you get the early access to it. So that, if there's any other small kinks here and there in a live platform, in a live environment, we're able to fix that before we open it up to the rest of the people. But having said that, it will actually be very simple. I mean, it's a matter of minutes. When a person can be able to set up, we make it very user-friendly, so that when you open up your app, you register this, I'm a business, I'm Thabo so-and-so's trading. If you already have a logo, you can actually upload your logo, that this is my logo of my place, this is my address, so that people can find you and to enable us to geolocate you. This is my contact details, so that people can talk to you, whether it's on a chat or, when they need some more information about your product. And then you take photos of the stock that you actually have. And then you bring it in, even if it's not everything you've got, but the quick selling items. You say, I'm selling these and these items and so forth. And then once that has been done, you've priced them, you know what the price of each item is, and you click, and then it gets uploaded onto the system, and that's it. You are online. And this is in a matter of minutes.
Sounds good. Now, as we wind up this episode, one of the big challenges I know with e-commerce and making sure that e-commerce works, and I think you touched on this briefly earlier, is last mile delivery. I'd like you to elaborate a little bit more on how you guys will be tackling this as the Tafari app, because without last mile delivery to consumers, e-commerce is almost a non-starter.
One approach is that we could have lots of bikes or cars or some that are branded, that people can, go out and do that. But our model is slightly different. We want to make it community driven. And we want to create microeconomies in the communities where people are working. So I've actually indicated that you can have individuals register as local couriers to the local economy. They'll be vetted, and make sure this person is okay, is trusted in the area, and so forth. There could be people that have their own bikes that register as well as couriers. They could have own vehicles. So depending on the size and the distance, you can be able to, it's almost like they will be picked up on an Uber-like environment.
Yeah.
As a registered courier, if there is a product that needs to be sold in a particular area, the people that are localized in that area will be alerted that there is a product that needs to go to this address, and it will be able to check who is the closest. And just as much as the way Uber works, we'll have the same kind of platform on there, even if it's somebody walking. And some people could actually be sitting next to the store or
next
to the
door,
workers.
yeah.
Yes, next door, waiting for an SMS to click, hey, there's a job. And then they go and do this. And people will know that the more I do the job and the quicker I am, and the more money I'm going to make. And if you've got something like that, you are less likely to mess it up, so to speak. Yeah. So we want to take it from local, from a person that works, to the big courier people that can take things outside the areas to other far-flung areas. All of those things, all those people will be registered onto the platform. And this can be individuals or companies. Because the whole idea around this is not just about us, it's about local empowerment of people to actually create jobs. I mean, our country, and I'm sure everybody, there's a lot of jobs that are required. And therefore, we try to make sure that the people themselves participate in creating this environment for themselves.
I think in a country with, I think the latest numbers are about over 40% unemployment, this could go a long way to helping. Now, the final thing to find out is the business model. People who want to register, to pre-register, the final thing they probably want to know is, does Tafari take a commission or a percentage like apps like Uber every time they sell?
Yeah, look, because first of all, your bank account, your account is going to be free, okay? And therefore, and even opening the online store is free. Just opening it is free. So where we make our money is then where we say, okay, fine, we will take a small percentage of the transactions that you are making.
Okay.
So basically what we are doing is we are bringing markets to you, and in return, you just pay us a small commission to enable us, to carry on doing this type of thing. So when you think about what it would cost that individual to actually build an online app or an online trading store, I think this is value that most people would find very attractive to do.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the Tafari app going forward, launch dates, anything before we wind up?
Look, we've done a soft launch now, and in the soft launch, this is what I'm saying, that we just want people to pre-register and to tell us what are the, because it will ask you if you are a business or you are an individual and so forth. So we want them to go to our app and Tafari, our website, which is www.tafaricapital.co.za. And there'll be a landing page which says pre-register. That's the first thing, is pre-register. Okay. Or if you want to know more about Tafari, you can then go in. There's another button which you click. It will take you to the rest of the website. But if you just pre-register, you just go onto this so that you can either be a customer on this thing. But also, having said all of this, one of the key things which I would like to put across is that this app, this whole concept is a concept that has been born up of our people doing things for themselves. And therefore, part of the funding that we've been crowdfunding, we've been crowdsourced. Yes. So we've brought in individuals to actually become part of it, so that it's not something where Thabo on his own is just doing this thing and he's doing it for everybody. So there is an opportunity for people that want to actually become investors in Tafari to also actually do that.
And where do they
that way, if they go to the website as well,
yep.
And then in the actual website where they go, there is a button there that says join us.
Okay.
So when you click on the join us, it will ask you your name, your address, and phone number. And then once you have clicked on that and you said, yes, this is it, I'm interested in becoming part of Tafari, almost a second or so later, there'll be downloads that will come through. There's one that talks about the document, the investment form, the document that gives you the story about Tafari. And then there's a subscription form, which you can then fill in, and then you can become part of Tafari. We've had stockfields, we've had companies, we've had trusts, we've got individuals, investment companies where people come together, pull together their resources, and they come and invest as a group to actually begin to say, we are partaking in creating our own value, our own items, our own things. And this is where I believe Tafari is going. So we are going to basically address a market where people don't have accounts. A large amount of people in Africa, in fact, do not have access to accounts, and therefore they cannot participate in the financial economy. And therefore, so what we are doing is we give them access to accounts where they can buy and sell and create a record. And this record will enable lenders who will be on the platform to also be able to provide them with microloans or different types of loans at reasonable amounts of monies, because their ability to trade and the ability we have the record that says this person is a person that can that is able to buy and sell and is able to pay whatever they buy. And there will be things like airtime, electricity, Lotto, DSTV, you name it, where you can actually buy them online, because it then allows you to not have to go out to the store to go and buy these things. You can actually do them. You can buy them from the comfort of your home. And in this COVID era, it's quite crucial to let people go out as little as possible. So we have actually done that. And lastly, from my side, one of the things that we have done is that we have created a COVID-19 app, which is integrated as well with the Tafari App. So what will be happening is that, and we'll be launching one of these in one of the neighboring countries in the very near future. Maybe we'll invite you to that one. When I said near future, I mean it's like within a week or two.
Great.
And to allow people to be able to, one, become cashless,
yep,
and to also to allow people to also understand the regulations on the same platform. So we have also integrated that side of things as well. So it's one of the things of how we are providing a product or service in this COVID era to be able to assist not only us, but to assist countries to manage this current scourge of the COVID as well. We will, the COVID side of things, we will discuss another time, but I just thought that maybe as an initial, to introduce it to you, to indicate that the Tafari app will be integrated into our COVID-19 app as well.
I see. Dr. Lehlokoe, thank you very much for your time, and Godspeed with the Tafari app, because it sounds very exciting.
No, thank you very much, sir. I really hope that it is received in the spirit that it is. So, and obviously people can go onto our Facebook, Twitter line. It's Tafari Capital SA. So if they go to either Twitter, they go to Facebook, even LinkedIn, it's Tafari Capital SA. That's our Twitter handle, our handle. And then, of course, the rest they can pick up online on our website.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to iAfrikan Bytes. Do check out our other podcasts on iAfrikan.com/radio. That is iAfrikan.com/radio.